How's it going? It's day 38 of our self-isolation. The days are definitely running together. I am working, but it's hard to tell the difference between days I'm working and days I'm not. They all are the same. I'm not complaining. I'm being very productive, and I like the idea that I can roll out of bed and be at work in 10 minutes. That being said, take a look at this head hair, my face hair. I could trim the beard, but you know what? I figured if I'm going that route, I'm going all the way, so I'm not trimming my beard either. We'll clean it all up at the end. That way we really know it's all over. In the meantime, we continued our experimentation with having some meals delivered and things like that. And so tonight we're going to try another of these Blue Apron meals. And this one is going to be sweet and spicy salmon with green beans, sweet peppers, and brown rice. Now this time they did include the recipe card with the meal, so that's a good thing. One of the other things that they didn't have on the online one is the fact that they include a wine pairing, which I think is quite nice. And that's what it's going to look like at the end of the day, in theory. We'll see. So, we've got a few things now. As we mentioned before, we've got a lot of plastic. We'll just acknowledge that up front, that we're going to deal with plastic. But the meals we had last time, all three of them were pretty spectacular. And as I mentioned before, also, the best part is the fact that there's a lot of obscure ingredients for these that if I were to go out and buy, I would have to buy and store, because you can't just buy a tablespoon of something. And this gives you the exact ingredient amount, which is great. The other downside is you actually have to cook the food. I like to do that, so that's not a problem. But in the meantime, we have nice, fresh Atlantic salmon, some fresh green beans, scallions, and our, what they call, knickknacks. So we'll go through these as we unwrap them. So, we're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to make this meal, we're going to serve it up, and we're going to see how it is, because I think it's going to be pretty good. Alright, let's get started. So in the knick-knack bag for this recipe, we have a soy glaze, sambal oelek. I have no idea what this is, but we're going to eat it. Brown rice, peanuts, light brown sugar, and vegetarian ponzu sauce. Never tried that before either. So, interesting mix of new things. Alright. Let's get down to business. Now the first step of preparing this is, it says, fill a small pot 3/4 of the way up with water, add a big pinch of salt, cover and heat to boiling on high. Wash and dry the fresh produce. Cut off and discard the ends of the green beans. Cut off and discard the ends of the peppers. What peppers? Sweet peppers. And garlic. Alright, so cut off and discard the stems of the peppers. Remove the cores. Thinly slice lengthwise. Peel and roughly chop 2 cloves of garlic. Thinly slice the scallions, separating the white bottoms and whole green tops. Okay. Roughly chop the peanuts. So basically, in a bowl, whisk together some of the stuff. So let's go ahead and do all this prep work and, do what we got to do. First of all, we're going to wash things. Alright, so I did go ahead and wash and dry everything, so I didn't dry it very much. So it did say to separate the white and the greens of the onions. So we're going to put the whites here. All right, and there are the greens. Okay. Quickly we will cut off the ends of the green beans. And we're going to core the sweet peppers now and slice them lengthwise. All right, there's the peppers. What's next? 2 cloves of garlic. Roughly chop the peanuts. All right. All right, so the garlic and the white part of the peppers are going to be sauteed together, so we're going to just include them in the same bowl. Perfect. So the peanuts are garnish, so I'm going to save that for the last. I'll chop them right before I put them on. So it looks like we have everything prepped. The next thing we have to do is to whisk together the sauce. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, so we have our trusty Corningware bowl. Let's go ahead and mix up the sauce. First thing is sugar, soy glaze, 2 tablespoons of water. Well, let's put things in that are dry right now. So sugar's dry. As much of the sambal oelek as you would like. And I'm back. Not knowing what the sambal oelek was, we did a little taste test and a little bit of research. We decided we're going to go for a medium spice with this because we just don't know what we're getting into. So we're going to do half of the sambal oelek and, just sort of go with it. So let's go ahead and do that. Let me get the tablespoon measure. 2 tablespoons of water, the soy glaze, and half of the sambal oelek. The soy glaze is very thick, almost like a syrup. Half of the sambal oelek. Perfect. And we're whisking. Fill a small pot 3/4 of the way with water. Add a pinch of salt. Cover heat to boiling on high. Add the rice. Drain. Okay, so we're going to have to drain the rice. So it doesn't matter how much. So this is not one of those things where the rice absorbs all of the water and at the end of the day you have rice. This is rice that you boil and then you drain. And then we return to the pot and work from there. So let's go ahead and get the rice on. We're going to boil some water. We're going to throw in the rice. And it is going to boil for 17 to 19 minutes. Alright, so our water's come to a boil. We're going to go ahead and put the rice in. It's going to boil for about 19 minutes. It does not say to cover it. It says, as a matter of fact, to boil it uncovered. So we're going to leave it uncovered. And we will turn the heat down a little bit. And while that's boiling, we're going to go ahead and prep the vegetables. Go ahead and get the oil hot. We'll start sauteing the vegetables. So the first thing we're going to put in is the green beans. We're going to let them cook for about 4 to 5 minutes. Then we'll put a little water in there, let them cook another minute. And we'll follow that up with the peppers and the white parts of the scallions. Salt and pepper on here because we'll be salting and peppering these again, so I don't want to overdo it. Alright, when slightly softened, add 2 tablespoons of water. that until the water boils off. Okay, the water is boiled off. We're going to go ahead and add in the garlic and the white scallion, and also the pepper. And then we cook until soft. Smells delicious. And it says to season again with salt and pepper. This is why I didn't put very much on the first. And I'm not putting very much on again. Alright, just one more quick heating on this side, and then we're going to go ahead and pull the vegetables off. And we're going to put them in this pot here. This bowl here, and we're going to mix in the ponzu sauce. Alright, pull it. Mix in the ponzu. And stir to coat. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put a little bit more olive oil in the pan, and we're going to get ready to cook the fish. So a little olive oil, a little salt and pepper on the fish, and then we'll put it in the pan. Right. So these come with 2 strips of salmon. We're going to go ahead and put it in the pan. Meat side down, skin side up. On medium heat. I'll turn that down just a little bit. And we're going to cook it on that for 5 minutes. Okay, we're going to go ahead and pour out the rice and drain it. Then we'll return it to the pan and cover it. Alright, let's go ahead and turn this fish over. Give it a few more minutes. Like the fish is done. Let's go ahead and put it on the plate, and we'll go ahead and make the sauce. Alright, so it says to leave that as is. Put in the sauce. And finally, we top with the green peppers. And the peanuts. And there you have it, our second Blue Apron meal. Sweet and spicy salmon. Sweet and spicy salmon. We're going to go ahead and serve it up and see what everybody thinks. So I'm not going to be eating this. I don't like seafood very much. But the people who are do not want to be on camera because they're all facing the same COVID crisis that I am with our hair and stuff. So they're going to eat it and then speak very loudly to tell you what they think of it. So here we go. Big wide eyes.
Yum!
All right, Dolly.
Very good.
Very good, says Dolly. Okay, there you go.
Delicious. Can I you want me to
You can keep talking all you want. Who's going to stop you?
Really yummy, like crispness to the fish. Not too salty, not too sweet. Rice, delicious. Peanuts, delicious. Veggies, delicious.
Yeah, I did tone it down on the salt. There was a lot of steps where it said salt, and some of them I put very little, some of it I didn't put any at all. So you just got to be careful with salt, not over salting this. Otherwise, it looks like it's another victory here for Blue Apron.
Super delicious.
All right, there you go. All right. You guys enjoy your self-isolation. Remember, this is always an option if you can't get to the grocery store. It's a little bit to set up and a little bit to get delivered, but once it gets started, it's pretty good. All right, we'll see you later.